Alright, what's going on, dudes, and welcome to the newest Minecraft Snapshot, 14W04. Got a whole bunch of cool new stuff, actually, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So first off, pretty minor change. Now when you cover grass with a layer of snow, it still remains grass rather than turning into dirt. That's about all there is to it for that one. A little bit of an example right here. Now let's move on into some of the more interesting stuff. So, cool new functionality for item frames. Well, first off, now you're actually able to rotate the item within at 45-degree increments as opposed to previously 90-degree increments. But on top of that, as you rotate the item, if you actually have a comparator lined up in the back, it will start outputting a signal of a strength that's proportional to the amount you've rotated the item. So as I keep rotating the item here, it's going to keep pushing out even more of a stronger signal. And once I get to the final increment there, it'll open the door. And once I rotate once more, it'll reset it. When you have an item in the item frame, it'll output a signal that's 1 block strength. If I remove the item, then it won't output anything. Here, let me place it back really quickly. And you'll notice that the comparator is now on, and there's 1 signal. And then again, as I keep rotating it, it'll keep firing the pistons until it gets to the final increment, and then it opens the door. So that's pretty cool. This is something you can actually use to create a pretty intricate combination lock. I haven't set this up here, but I think you could probably imagine how that would actually work. So anyway, let's move on to the next change, which we got a couple rolled up into one here. And that is that you probably noticed we got a button on the underside and the top of the dispenser here. So that's new. This is actually something that the guy who created the code, I bet he could have already done it. But now you can just do it easily in vanilla Minecraft, placing buttons on the underside and the tops of blocks. And on top of that, we got a cool new thing with dispensers, where in this one, I have pumpkins. And if we hit the button here, it'll actually complete the snow golem. Boom. Oh man, that's pretty cool, right? And on top of snow golems, you can also do it for iron golems, which I'm going to have to take you out since you're not getting out of the way. I'm so sorry. It's for science. All right, let's put down the outline for the base of an iron golem and spawn 1 more pumpkin. Boom. And we've got an iron golem. Pretty cool stuff. And we can also spawn a wither this way, except I don't want to do it yet because it'll just blow everything up in this area, and I've got all my stuff set up here. However, I can at least hit the button here, and you'll notice it spawns a couple skulls. If I add a piece of redstone here, it would have spawned the last one, but maybe we'll get to that later once I've actually gone through all of the stuff that I've got set up here. Anyway, so that's changed with dispensers, also buttons being on the tops and bottoms of blocks. Now let's move on to something that's pretty darn useful. You're actually able to craft mossy cobblestone now. The crafting recipe, pretty straightforward. Cobblestone with a vine. Boom, mossy cobblestone in return. Pretty helpful. Now you don't actually have to go and find dungeons in order to get the mossy cobblestone, which obviously that eliminates a bit of a challenge there, but still can be pretty useful. All right, so next up, we have a pretty cool new change with villagers. And the villagers have been a bit camera shy when I've tried to do this, but I'm hoping that whoever I spawn here will perform. Basically, villagers are now, he's not interested, villagers are now able to destroy fully harvested crops and then replant seeds. So hopefully I can get this to work. Hopefully one of them will be interested. I think I have to get the actual farmer type of villager. Yeah. They're really camera shy and not interested in performing manual labor, apparently. I'll spawn a few more, and if they don't feel like doing it, I'll just have to cut until one starts harvest. Come on, man. Do it for me. Please? I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Got lots of people counting on you. You're gonna do it, right? I swear earlier on, the first villager I spawned started doing it, and now they're just not interested. Maybe if I spawn you, there you go. Oh, no. That was just because I spawned him right there. Come, okay. I'm gonna cut until this is actually working. So while I was over there attempting to get those villagers to actually start doing things, this guy was over here harvesting this entire area. So now you see what's going on. So if I bone meal some more stuff, here he's gonna plant a new one. I'm gonna keep bone mealing this, and then he's gonna come harvest it. Oh, you're such a good guy. And then he replants it. Come on, keep harvesting. And then he replants it. And then harvest. and then replant. Yeah, you know you're doing good. That's why you keep looking at me every time. He's like, yep, I'm the best villager here. I'm actually helpful. I actually do things, as opposed to all of these guys over here who did absolutely nothing. As far as I can see, though, it has to be the farmer type villager who actually goes and harvests the crops. Others don't seem to actually do that, but that guy over there, he is a stand-up gentleman. All right. Anyway, now we can move on to the final couple command block things that are actually, I think, the coolest parts of the snapshot. So first off here, if I hit this button, you'll notice that I have a lava particle effect that's spawning right next to the command block. So this is a command that apparently was implemented in the last snapshot, just no one found it at that time. What was his name? Sarge just trolled us by telling us that it was in the snapshot when it actually wasn't. Either way, it's here now. And the syntax is /particle. Then you specify what particle you want to spawn. You specify where you want it to originate. And then I believe the next three numbers, 0, 1, 0, specify a vector as to like what direction you want it to be spawning in, how wide and how tall the spawn box is going to be. Then the next number, the 1 right there, specifies the speed at which they're spawning, and then the next is the amount of particles that we're spawning. So we're spawning 10,000 lava particles in an upward-facing configuration right next to the command block. I'm not entirely sure why it doesn't spawn right in the middle of the command block, because I do have it set to do that. But anyway, no matter. What you can also do is you're able to spawn it relative to the location of an entity or player. So if I add @p here, go into F5 mode, hit the button, it's going to actually spawn the particles around my location. Let me quickly set it back to the beginning of the day. And let me actually go ahead and wire this up really quickly so that I don't have to keep hitting it and walking away in order for you to see that it's actually spawning it relative to my location. So now F5, and as I walk around, it's actually just gonna follow me around with the particle effects, which is cool. Looks kind of weird as I'm walking through the water area. But you get the idea. Okay, so with that in mind, as I said, we're able to also spawn relative to the location of an entity. So what I've done here is I've created the angriest villager you will ever see. Some say that I trampled all his crops and that zombies took out his entire village. All we know is he's the angriest villager in the world. He's mad. He's real mad. The only unfortunate part about this is that it keeps making lines in chat if you don't hide the chat, so it's a bit obnoxious. But then again, he's angry, and that's how he's getting back at me, is by spawning a bunch of lines in the chat. So the syntax here is /particle. Now I'm specifying the particle to be spawned is the angry villager particle, and it's going to spawn 1 block above his head. And I still have the 0, 1, 0 there, specifying I want it to be a tall box that the particles are spawning in, and each tick spawns 1,000 particles. And in order to get it to spawn relative to the villager, we do @e, and then in brackets specify that we want it to be a villager. And that's that. Cool stuff. All right, so I'm going to delete this because I just want the chat to go away. But we'll get on to the final change here, which is, again, really, really useful. So it's a new way to use the fill command. Basically, if I hit this button here, you'll notice nothing happened. What I have in this command block is a fill command specifying that I want to fill this 3x1 area right here with stone, except I only want it to fill it with stone if there is a grass block there. So Minecraft stone is the block I'm going to be filling with. 0 is just specifying I want stone as opposed to granite, diorite, andesite, so on and so forth. And then grass over here is the block that I want to have replaced. So say I replace the middle block here with a block of grass. Now if I hit the button, it's going to replace that 1 block right there with stone because it was previously grass. Now if we go ahead and replace all these blocks with grass, it'll fill the remaining. There we go. So that's really useful. If you only want to replace a certain type of block in a specific area, now you can do it. Cool stuff. All right, so I don't know. Let's summon the Wither and we'll call it there for this particular snapshot overview. Oh, one more change that I can't actually really show is that looting now gives like a 1% chance of dropping one of the rare mob drops, like an iron ingot from a zombie or a wither skeleton skull from a withered skeleton. It gives you a 1% chance per level of that happening. So if you have a looting sword, then that's that. Anyway, all right, let's spawn the wither. Whee! Anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, a rating would be much appreciated. Other than that, these guys are about to get paid back for not being willing to perform. See you guys later. All right, thanks for watching, and that's gonna do it. See you in the next video.